Flowers, WHBW, Hyde Park, Poughkeepsie, and the rest of the world.
This is the Poughkeepsie Institute, and we have been seeking community in Poughkeepsie.
I'm a revolutionist, relying on the wrist. If your iron don't miss, so you want me trying this? If so, you find a flying fist firing like sharp slugs. Rhymes penetrate minds like glasses spark plugs. Like glasses spark plugs. I'm a revolutionist, relying on the wrist. If your iron don't miss, so you want me trying this? If so, you find a flying fist firing like sharp slugs. Rhymes penetrate minds like glasses spark plugs. Like glasses spark plugs. What is the meaning of life? Is it
We started by seeking a definition of community within Poughkeepsie.
Community is what I call common unity.
It's like when we all come together and work together.
Shared culture or desire for shared culture.
It's of we-ness. You know, we are all in this community together.
That word was built on two things: common unity.
When kids are happy, the community is happy.
And John Flowers is the definition of community. He is the city of Poughkeepsie.
I'll tell you a story about this kid, you know. I was in my storage and I left my van unlocked. We got ready to put some stuff in the back of my van, and I walked out and the guy jumped out the van, you know. I said, "Man, what are you doing in my van?" He says, "Oh, Mr. Flowers, I didn't know it was your van." He said, "Because, you know, when I was a little kid, you used to always look out for me." He kept saying, I'm sorry, Mr. Flowers. Anything I can do, you know." I said, "You know what? You did enough. You let me know you were sorry, and that was enough for me."
We have found that there are many obstacles that block true sense of community.
One of the biggest problems in the city of Poughkeepsie right now, I think, is gang involvement, street gang involvement. And I see that happening because there's still a lot of fragmentation in the black community. We haven't managed to, after all this time, really strongly unite our young people and make them feel safe.
Crabs in the barrel, seems like to be the general mental mind state around here. You know, and then again, everything's separate. You know, thank God we got that store right there, Nubian Directors, that does a lot of GED work, a lot of things of that nature. But other than that, they cut the YMCA, they cut all types of programs. There's nothing for the kids to do but get high.
And I know that the institutions like government and church and education, they all play a major part in that. But it's still our responsibility as families to create that unity.
Community now, I think, is a little distant. I definitely think there's a need for us to come together.
The north side doesn't get with the south side. You know, the white and the black kids don't never get together outside of school.
And when we fall off, we're not strong enough as a family unit, then it's up to the neighborhood and the community to rally around people and to make them feel comfortable like that.
However, there are certain parts of the community that are thriving.
At Children's Media Project, we run a lot of different programs for the community. We run after-school programs, we do programs in school, and we do summer-long programs. Our primary format for media is video. So in video, we run a program called Drop TV that we have high school age students coming here after school 3 days a week, and they are producing their own television show. And that show gets distributed sporadically throughout the country and even internationally in New Zealand and South Africa. So it's got a lot of built-in opportunities for them to show off the work that they do and win awards for it, which is great because a lot of them actually go on to work in the professional media arts field. That's a lot of what we're currently doing. We're always coming up with new ideas that a lot of them come from the community. People stop in and they want to run a program, and we usually sit down and figure out how to get from the idea to actually implementing a program where kids are coming in.
Yeah, I'm Tree Arrington, the founder and CEO of Real Skills Network. The basic training for the street is usually drug dealing or something that has to do with breaking the law. So what becomes most important is that we create programs that are comfortable for children to invest in so that they can have options.
Tree is one person, but he does a lot of good. So he has a lot of assistants. He's kind of like Santa Claus with all those helpers.
I help run Real Deal, a middle school program, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. When she's busy with other things, I actually deal with the kids myself.
Well, we are part of the Real Skills Mentoring program at the Family Partnership, and with Miss Simply, we've been figuring out ways how we can help our community and how we can come together to be a better community.
It wasn't no great master plan. I wasn't in a room with a bunch of people and we said, this is what we're going to do. We think tanked it up. Some of it just happens because you're there in the moment, you see it, and you respond to that need, you know?
I mean, he makes the adults stop for a while and think, what are they doing as far as to assist the community? What are they doing to assist these children?
I think it's important to get the kids into something positive, and I think what she's doing is very positive, and it's good for them.
Some institutions, I don't say that. And they're going to exist here, and they're going to get money for doing what they think should be done for people, versus institutions that are asking people, what do you need in this community?
What we found in Poughkeepsie, under the social problems, isolation, and grumbling, was a sense of hope. This is the belief that we have the power to make things better for ourselves and our community. Some individual people crystallize this for their community. Here are a few from Poughkeepsie. Where everyone else saw the Mid-Hudson Bridge as a way to cross the river, Joseph Bertolozzi saw a gigantic musical instrument. So he created bridge music by striking the bridge with different sized mallets.
You know, when I did bridge music, for instance, it was because I thought it would be very cool to play a bridge. So the New York Times came and did a story. It was a big story. It was like the front page of the Sunday Arts section. Because of that one article, I spent the whole rest of the summer doing interviews with, you know, Swedish television, Japanese radio, Norwegian radio, Reuters. That's the success and the beauty of the idea, where it had a global impact, you know, here locally.
Mild-mannered and earnest, Fred Schaefer led the movement to transform a dilapidated wooden railroad bridge into a spectacular pedestrian walkway. This $38 million project opened in October with 40,000 walkers on the first weekend.
Walkway over the Hudson will become an icon for symbolism of how great this area can be and how great the country can be again. That it's a historic structure that had a great use in the past, but now it's been retrofitted into something that everyone's going to be able to use.
Abdullah Salam Hussein spent 35 years in prison for a crime he insists he never committed. While there, he found and nurtured a hope that he brings to Poughkeepsie's youth.
Latif Islam is also a student of mine. So you said if these people, Tree or Latif, benefited from what I've brought to them, what I've given them, what I shared with them, then just imagine me here now. What can happen if I'm provided opportunity?
The youth flocked to Tree Arrington. Charismatic, with a booming voice and a mile-wide smile, Arrington devised creative new programs for youth using variations of the Alternatives to Violence project that he learned in prison.
You know, one of the biggest problems in our community is this fallacy of rehabilitation, you know, but you can't rehab something that hasn't been habilitated. So we need programs that do habilitation, that create foundations, that teach option and choice, decision making, lifelong learning skills, you know, alternative to violence. These are things that have to be taught to you. They don't come to you haphazard.
Tony Llanos, with her husband Joe, has created an oasis of art and creativity in downtown Poughkeepsie. Body and soul, she's changing kids one at a time, even as she tells us who we are.
I think art and dance is really important for the community, especially for the children. Art and dance has been taken out of the school system for a number of years. Art in general is something that I think is essential for everybody. More so for the kids because it's an opportunity for them to express themselves. They're able to tap into their divine creativity, emotionally, spiritually, physically. So it kind of covers and helps to give them a sense of balance, which is lacking in our society in general. So it's an opportunity for us to expose them to that and allow them to grow with the benefits of understanding what the importance of balance is.